Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Ribeiro from SteelersSanctuary.com. This is my co-host again, David Clora. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, if things weren't bad enough after that shellacking the Eagles got, word out of Twitter about, half an hour ago, the Ravens have traded for Roquan Smith. Man, throw this season to the moon, man. It's been a shit season.
Never thought you'd lose the bye week, but here we are, losing the bye week.
They lost the bye week. I like the way you put that because it's exactly what they did. Oh, where do you want to start first? Offense, defense?
At this point, it doesn't even really matter.
Let's start with the horrendous offense.
Okay.
Najee Harris goes 8 for 32. The run game's just broken. He had one run. Get this. So he runs 8 rushes for 32 yards. It's a 4-yard per carry, pretty much his average. If you take that one run for 18 yards away, he goes 7 for 14 in his other carries. It's a 2-yard per carry average, except for that one play. I know you can't take the play away, but still, that gives you an idea of how ineffective he was.
Yeah, that's a struggle. It's rough.
That catch on third down where he had acres of space and he decided to do his best Michael Jackson impersonation, fuck around, and he didn't gain a yard. There wasn't a defender within 5 yards of him when he caught that football, and somehow he didn't gain a yard. That tells you all you need to know.
I don't understand what happened to this guy. Like, did that injury mess him up that bad mentally? Like, good Lord.
It's crazy, right? I mean,
I'm sorry, he wasn't this bad last year. He was not this bad last year. But now it's not even injury related anymore. It's all mental. Or he's it's like he's changed the way he does, like the way his style or something, and it's horrendous. Bro, Jaylen Warren came in there, had 2 less attempts, and had 50 yards rushing.
Yep.
He averaged 8.3 yards a carry yesterday. So you can't blame the O-line on this, because he made the comment yesterday, I can't run when there's no hole. Like, did you see that? He was making it's like, whoa, bro. I'd simmer down now. Like, you're really starting to start throwing people under the bus there. I'm not sure I go that route. But I'm sorry, just like 2 less attempts and my man hit 50 yards rush. I mean, he's got the same O-line blocking for him. So what's the difference? Well, and we all know what the difference is.
Yes.
Jaylen Warren said it in his own interview yesterday. I'm not an east to west guy. I don't dance. I take what I get and I go with it. I run, straight ahead. Like, yes, this is what we need. I don't swear to God. It's like Najee Harris took on a Matt Canada version of running the ball, where I'm not going to run forward. I'm going to run east to west. And it's like, no, dude, we only do that on end arounds. Will you please quit fucking doing that? Like, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's like, it's like he wants to run east to west, like this goddamn offense. I don't know. I don't understand what happened to this kid. I thought it was the injury, and now I'm just like, nope. It's mental, and it's got him all fuckered up. And
the offensive line's bad. Let's be clear. The offensive line is bad, but the thing about Jaylen Warren is he takes what's there. Even bad offensive lines open up holes sometimes.
Yes.
And he takes what the offensive line gives him and gets positive yardage. Najee Harris doesn't know the shit or paint a house when he gets the ball. He just dances and moves around, and he has no idea where he wants to go. And he ends up getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage, or, on that play on third down, not gaining any yards on a crucial third. He ended up catching a pass on the fourth down, the play after. But still, that doesn't excuse what he did. He put the team in a bad situation. Whew, I don't know, man. We talked about on our last podcast about the trade values and, the trade thing coming up. If someone offered me a 4th right now, I think I'd take it for Najee Harris. He is shot. I don't know if there's any coming back from this.
He's
going to get benched. Any other team, he already would have been benched for Jaylen Warren. Coming out of his bye, I would assume he's going to be benched. But, Tomlin loves Najee Harris. So I don't know what he's going to do.
All of their team captains have fallen apart. Trubisky, Harris.
It's the curse of the team captain.
Good. Dude, every guy they picked to be captain has been horrendous. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, TJ Watt it was Alex Hayward's the captain, and he hasn't done anything since week 1 either. So,
like, I just don't understand. Like, how can this? Can Canada? It's just a mixture. It's a mixture of
at this point
Canada and players not performing. Some are not as good as they'd hoped. It's not all Canada, but he's
he's a big part of it.
He's a major factor.
He's the major part of it. But the players have lost confidence in him. They've lost confidence in themselves.
Because here's the thing: if you had players performing at a high level, or just players that are really good, you'd think they'd make up for some of this horrendous play calling a little bit. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Usually you can overcome some of this stuff, and they can't overcome fucking anything.
It's bad.
So, I mean, look at the one touchdown they had yesterday. That was the most creative I've seen Matt Canada the whole fucking season. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if you would have told me they were going to do a fucking handoff to Chase and he was going to throw it to Derek Watt, I'd have told you you're crazy. I never would have thought of a trick play like that. But they did it, and you're like, okay, like that's now you're using that brain a little bit, coming up with some other stuff.
His tendencies are so predictable that he can stop playing off of that and make big plays. I think everybody in Pittsburgh said, oh, no, not an end around to Chase Claypool. This is going to get stuffed. And when he threw the ball, we were all like, well, incredible. He can stop doing that kind of stuff. Like, and fake the screen and throw one deep. Do stuff like that. Yep. Play off. Everyone's expecting, his same 6 plays like we talk about every podcast. Now stop playing off that like you did for that trick play. How about a play action pass up the middle?
Did you see the chart?
Did I say it's the same thing as it always is. Nothing in the middle and everything to the sidelines. It's every week. It's the same thing.
This week, it seemed like there were so many at the line of scrimmage. Did you see how many were at the line of scrimmage?
I think they were deathly afraid of the Eagles' defensive line. And they had every right to be, because they got dominated. The offensive line got dominated. 6 sacks.
I think I counted. It was like I was trying to count. It looked like there were at least like 14 on each line of scrimmage, on each side screens. I was like, my God, dude, like what?
Just trying to get it.
Then there was that stat on Kenny that he was only, there was this stat. It was this crazy stat that was it over 5 yards or 10? He was only 2 for 11.
Yeah.
Like
he's struggling now too.
It was bad. I was watching the video. I was them showing different things, like Claypool up the seam, wide open, doesn't hit him.
Yeah.
Pickens beat a guy. He cleared his guy by 2 or 3 yards. Didn't throw it, but threw his back shoulder instead of throwing it over so he could run to it. Dude, like, look, I am practicing patience with Kenny Pickett. I really am. He's a rookie, so like, he's not going to do that well at first. Not everybody's going to be Ben Roethlisberger. I understand that.
He doesn't have the physical gifts that Ben Roethlisberger had. He's not 6'4", 200 and whatever pounds and bouncing off guys. That doesn't.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to stay patient, but man, did he play bad yesterday? That was bad.
Yep.
It was bad. And
Matt Canada's stink is on everybody.
So I'm trying to be patient. And it's tough, man. I'm really hoping this kid looks better by the end of the season. I really do. Because if I don't know. Well, you get a new offensive coordinator and go from there.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But
when we decided to do the podcast today instead of yesterday, I thought, well, we'll probably have some news to talk about coming into, we're taping this Monday around 5:00.
Did you see what I shared on Twitter about Jeff Aflin?
Yeah. So I don't think Thursday makes sense. I don't know where's he getting that from. Thursday doesn't make any sense.
I didn't get a chance to listen. I was trying to find it on the Odyssey app, and I couldn't find that segment. So it'll have to be after the podcast. But I'm interested to see why Thursday as well. I don't understand. Like, so they probably were off today. You come back Tuesday, Tomlin does his press conference. So why?
Yeah.
Why would it be Thursday?
It would have been today. It would. I'm convinced because the players are off, but the coaches are in the building.
Right.
So they're there.
Yeah.
If he was going to make a move, it would have been today, because you got to give Mike Sullivan as much time as you can to get prepared.
Right. You want the full 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I would think tomorrow. You want to hit the ground running, right? I mean,
yeah. I said, and maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's Thursday, maybe. But if they don't do it, if they haven't done it by now, he's not getting fired.
Well, when we get done here, sometime tonight, I'll try to hit that segment and find out what the fuck it's all about, and then I'll put it on Twitter because I'm curious. I want to know why it would be Thursday. Like you said, I'm thinking, dude, Monday morning, as soon as 6 a.m. hits, I'm going, Matt, get in here. You're fired. Get the fuck out. And then, Sullivan, hey, you're the new OC right now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, seriously. Like, look, man. If somehow in that crazy head of Tomlin's, if he is still intending to like go all out and try to win the rest of this, right? They got 9 games to go, right?
Oh, he is.
Bro, you better have that, whoever the fuck it is you're going to go with in Canada's place, if this is what they're doing. Like you said, Monday, like today, you're in there. We're going. We're doing this right now. We're getting ready. In 2 weeks, we're going to hit that ground running. We're going to have TJ back. That defense should be healthy, hopefully, and have that offense ready to go with whatever they're going with now, whatever changes they're making. If you have any hope, Aditi Kingabala, she put on Twitter how 2013 the Steelers started off 2-6, and they came back to finish the year 8-8. So, and I'm not saying this is that same team either.
Yeah,
However, Tomlin remembers that the players know that, like, you can do it, and their schedule is soft. It honestly is soft. Now they're gonna get their shit kicked out of them now by the fucking Ravens, and so I don't.
It's over. I'm not buying this. They're gonna come back. They'll win some games.
I'm not saying I think this way. I think they're thinking this way.
Yeah.
So if they're thinking this way, then, dude, you've got to make a move here, and it should be quick as fuck to give your players as much time as possible to fucking do this. So,
dude, I'm going to tell you right now, if we come back out of the bye and Matt Canada is still the coordinator and Najee Harris is still a starting running back and they haven't made any changes to a 2-6 team, we got to start questioning Mike Tomlin. What's he doing there? And should he be there? Because there's an old saying, you're either coaching it or letting it happen. Mike Tomlin's letting it happen right now. And it's inexcusable. You can't have a historically bad offense and do nothing. Let me give you some stats. 14.2 points a game this season, 32nd in the league. 6 yards per pass attempt, 32nd in the league. 4.7 yards per play, 32nd in the league. You cannot sit on your hands and allow this to happen and do nothing. You can't do it.
I just
Rooney,
don't know.
wake up. Wake up.
Yes. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, Art Rooney, like, dude, you got to see this. Like, Khan, Weidel, I don't give a fuck. Somebody in that chain of command has got to see this and be like, hey, man, this has got to go. This is not the standard. Please make the change. I'm begging you. I can
some change, anything. Show us that you have
right.
Acknowledge the problem. Acknowledge that there's a problem. Don't keep telling us, well, if the defense would have intercepted some passes, we would have won. Oh, if we would have made some plays, we would have been better off.
I'm telling you, if he does that shit this week, and don't get me wrong, the defense got the shit kicked out of him this week. There's no doubt. And we'll get to them next. But, come on, man. Like, your defense is going to get tired the fuck. I mean, we talk about this every goddamn week.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is going to do so much, but when you're facing a high octane offense, I said octane, oh God, like the freaking Eagles, like, bro, that defense is going to get tired. If you don't start putting up points and give them a breather, they're going to get smoked. And we've seen it happen how many games now?
10 points this week. 10 points. And now I see it. People have made the argument, well, you should keep Canada because you don't want to keep changing coordinators on picking young, so early in his career that's going to screw him up. This is screwing him up. He's losing his confidence. He's taking criticism now. This is not good for Kenny Pickett. This is not good for him.
And to the people that say that, like, I get what they're saying, but if you have a really bad coordinator that actually is doing bad things for your quarterback, wouldn't you want to get rid of him? Like, I don't know. That's the way I would look at it. If I got a coordinator who's doing bad things, who's giving bad habits to my quarterback, think I'd want him gone. I don't think I would be worried about screwing up my Kenny's young. Like I don't. This is game 4 for him.
Yep.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think
he's down to 2 touchdowns, 8 interceptions now. It's a horrendous ratio.
I saw that. I was like, man, that's rough.
And the other question we have to ask ourselves, Mike Tomlin sits in on these game plans, right? We assume maybe. At the very least, if he's not making up these game plans. So he sees the game plan before the game. Does he not say, we got to do something different? Matt, we got to do something different.
Bro, at halftime, he was saying, the offense is going to be just fine.
Yeah, the dam's about to
break. What? No, at halftime.
I know, but it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing.
I was like, bro, are you certifiably crazy? Is this really what you're like? Honestly, it's like I said, I think I've said this a couple weeks ago. It's like sitting in the room, the whole room's on fire, and you're sitting there going, everything's fine. We're going to be okay. What? Like, come on, dude. You got to do something here. There's got to be major changes. There's got to be.
And granted, there's only so many changes you can make in season, but one of the changes you can make is fire the coordinator. Dude, let's go. It's time. I'm so tired of talking about it.
Somebody brought this up, and this could be what happens. It's something I could see the Steelers doing, is they just may take the calling away from him and hand it to Sullivan. And they just don't officially announce it.
Do you think Matt Canada is the type of guy that's going to put up with that, though?
Who the fuck is he? Like
he seems like
if he wants a job, in fact, that could be what they say. It could be you can still sit back, you can still be here, but we're handing the calling to Sullivan, or you can go. Your choice.
Maybe.
I'd want him gone. Period. I want him away from these guys.
What's the point?
Possible.
What's the point of keeping him around if he's not calling plays?
So publicly, there's not a huge,
We're beyond that, dude. We're beyond that.
Hey, you don't got to tell me. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck
they're so worried about image and what people think of them. Give me a break. Admit the problem, acknowledge it, and do something about it. Fix it. Don't it's not the same things. I know it isn't. I'm worried about this team top to bottom, dude. Ownership down. You watch a team like the Eagles. We talked about it on Facebook Live. They're everything. Maybe I said this in the podcast already, but they're everything we want the Steelers to be. They do it the right way. They draft linemen, offensive and defensive. They make bold trades. This ownership does nothing. Every year, Rooney comes out, gives a state of the team, and he says, we need to run the ball better. He said that for fucking 4 or 5 years running now.
Yeah.
And yet you let this coach pick his coordinators and you don't do anything about it.
And you draft the running back in the first round before you even build your own line.
Yes.
And
you whiff on the running back.
And there's that too. And that too. Like, dude, it starts in the trenches first. Go get the O-line, protect your QB, and then to help with the running game. Like, why they went fucking ass backwards, I will never know.
You know why? I was thinking about this today. It's ego. It's Tomlin's ego and their delusional belief that they could squeeze one more Super Bowl out of Ben Roethlisberger. They talked themselves into, we'll just get him a running back, we'll get him a tight end, and we'll be fine. We can patch together an offensive line. I'll coach up the offensive line, and we'll win a Super Bowl. They were delusional. It's that simple, Dave.
And that's what Clem at the helm with that O-line.
Yep.
That's another thing. Wow. You thought that dude was the guy?
We've talked about it. His choices of coaches and coordinators have been just horrendous.
And we lost 3 this year because they didn't want to be near Matt Canada. No, and don't get me wrong, they weren't great. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
They ran. That guy that replaced Clem looked like he was doing okay. And my guy ran out of town. He was like, fuck this, I'm out. And then he brought in all these guys that worked with Canada beforehand. They chose to double down on this Matt Canada shit, really, when you think about it. The wide receivers coach worked for Canada. The offensive line coach, I think either worked with Canada or something there too with him as well. I'd have to go back and look. But either way, like, you had people in here, 3 coaches that left that did not want anything to do with.
They probably saw the writing on the wall, dude. They saw that this offense was not going to work. And they're like, he's going to take us down with him. And they're smart. They were smart. They got the hell out when they had a chance. I'm worried. I'm worried about this team. I mean, now, granted, it's a different front office. So, but the drafting, we look back at that Najee Harris draft, it was miss. If it wasn't for Freiermuth, and knock on wood, those concussions don't derail his career. He's the only guy out of that draft. And Kendrick Green, nope. Moore, he looked horrendous again. He's not a player. That draft was terrible. It just
I think Norwood would be the only one that is okay, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I'm saying.
Freiermuth's a big-time tight end.
Freiermuth, good.
That was a good pick.
Treywood's okay. And that's really it. Like, unless Harris, like I said, unless Harris mentally is just not right, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to. But, I mean, we can talk about trades and stuff if you want after the defense. We get to the defense. But
let's flip over to the defense. All
right.
It was, oof, man.
Witherspoon.
Bench.
Okay, you can go that too.
Yeah, what's wrong with Minkah Fitzpatrick? Why can't he make a play anymore? He botched that first touchdown. Misplayed that ball so badly.
Stand there I'm like, oh, he's about to pick this.
Yep.
Never jumps up for it. Waited for it to come to him. I'm like, bro, it's a jump ball. Like, you got to jump up for that. I can't believe he didn't
pass it. Or I don't know what he did. It was just so confusing.
He turned to let it come to him. Instead of jumping up in front of Brown, he turned this way. And it was like, what are you doing? That's basically a jump ball, but you got the advantage where you're standing. You can jump up in front of him and snag that. And he didn't do it. He admitted it too, by the way. They interviewed him. He said, I played it wrong.
You could see he was visibly upset. He was punching the ground. He was pissed.
He just played it wrong. Like, dude, you fucked up there. I don't know what made you think that, but
you can make the argument. All 3 touchdowns, they were players. The right defense was called. There were players near around.
They should have made the
double coverage.
Our corners. How many times do our corners never look back for the ball?
It's terrible.
They never look back for the ball.
This might be the worst ball skill defense secondary in football.
That's the other thing. When they look back, when they actually do look back, they can't catch it.
No.
Like I can't even explain to you how many times I'm watching these guys and go, do you not pay attention when the wide receiver's eyes look back? Maybe you should look back too. Just thought. And then, again, if there's a ball and you're not that good catching the ball, use your fucking chest if it's going right to you. If it's a jump ball, jump up, try to catch it, bring it to your chest. I shouldn't have to talk about this. I gotta talk like a fucking coach, a wide receivers coach on a fucking podcast. It's ridiculous.
At the very worst, knock it down. Now we're at the point where they're not even knocking it down; they're just letting receivers catch touchdowns. Like it's
they're not looking back. They're not looking back at all because
no ball awareness.
Witherspoon was right with him on that first one. I want to say all he had to do was look back as soon as the wide receiver's eyes looked back, and he didn't do it, dude. But Witherspoon, before he got injured, was doing that shit too.
Yeah, he's lost his confidence. I don't know what it is with him. I mean, listen, we expected a little too much from him. He was never been a good cornerback. He had 6 games at the end of last year. We were all excited, and the Steelers were too, because they signed him back as a number 1 corner. And folks, he's not a number 1 corner.
And you know what?
Barely a 2.
Look, I wanted him to bring him back too, so guilty as charged to me. Me too. It literally ended up being, it was a small, sample. And he was not what they whiffed. They basically whiffed. Yeah. They whiffed on this guy. He's not what they thought they were. I feel like they whiffed on Levi. Dude, you talked about this. You talked about your concerns about this the whole summer. You talked about. I'm worried about these corners. Levi Wallace is not what they think he is. Again, whiffed. He's a good tackling corner, I think. But as far as coverage goes, liability.
Yep. In Buffalo's defense, they're so structured and so well coached that they can get away with Levi Wallace at corner because he's smart. He's a smart corner, and he stays in position, and he works well with the Buffalo defense. With the Steelers defense, they're about putting pressure, man coverage, and making plays, and that's not his style. That's not his style.
No.
He's a fish out of water in Pittsburgh. He needs to go to this whole secondary. Cam Sutton's a free agent.
Sutton's been our best corner.
Yeah, and he's a free agent. So he might have to start completely over next year if you can't sign him.
Yep.
As far as corners go.
That was sad. They had to bench Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Second half and put Pierre in. It was like, Jesus. That's I mean, we're talking about a lot of whiffs that have led him to this season. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is a
the
bad
draft pick
team.
whiffs, the free agent whiffs, just a lot of whiffs involved. The only one I feel like they've hit on as far as free agents goes is what, Jack and Daniels. And that's even
jury's still out on him, but he's been pretty good lately. He's been pretty good.
So, and Cole's been okay.
Yeah, Cole wasn't a bad signing either.
He's been okay.
What they spent on him.
But a lot of draft whiffs over the past 3 seasons.
And they're paying a price for it.
Yep. And but yeah, dude, I just
Alex Highsmith invisible again, no sacks.
Yep. I think
Malik had a couple hurries.
Reed
made a play.
Yeah,
Malik
he made a play.
Made a play. Made actually almost 2 plays. He had a sack.
I was gonna say, I remember twice he was involved.
But the ratio of plays made to plays played is like 2%.
Yeah. Hey, they did try to bring the pressure, though. Oh, they did. We talked about this. They're going to have to bring pressure. They did. They tried, and it didn't go well.
It's right now the defense without TJ Watt in the field is not good. Period.
No, I am interested to see what they can do when they have TJ back, Ogunjobi back, Leal back. If they have if everyone's actually healthy, if they're actually a full 100%, we'll see what happens. If we can get that defense from that first half of that Bengals game, okay.
I don't think we're going to see that again this season. People beat up. Who knows what TJ?
They got 2 more weeks, dude. They got 2 more weeks. We'll see what happens. But if
I'm not even worried that much about the defense. They played. They didn't play good yesterday. But you're right. If you get TJ back, they're fine. Just TJ.
Like I said, bro, they lost their number 2 guys, top 2 guys, in getting pressure to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Ogunjobi up the middle, and then not having TJ. It was like you're not going to get to the quarterback. They tried to apply the pressure, but it didn't work.
And you're playing one of the best offenses in football. This was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
they could have made a couple plays on the ball, and it wouldn't have been so bad.
Right.
But you're on the razor's edge. You make a couple mistakes on defense, the game's over because your offense can't bring you back.
Against a good team like this, you can't make mistakes.
No, you can't make mistakes like they did.
And they did, and it was over.
I've been impressed. I'm hoping it's Austin. The game plan seemed to be pretty good on defense. They seem to even with a couple blowouts, they were shorthanded against Buffalo and they're shorthanded against Eagles. You can't really grade them on that. But for the most part, they had one blown play with a wide open receiver for a touchdown just at Philly. But other than that, I've been fairly impressed with the defense.
I don't, it's kind of hard to grade because when you don't have your top starters and you're facing Buffalo and the Eagles, Philly. I mean, you're going to get blown. I mean, there's only so much you can do. But there were flashes at times,
Yeah.
But then they shut down the Dolphins.
They played well against Miami. I was going to bring that up.
They shut down the Buccaneers. I mean, Buccaneers have been struggling lately. but on paper, they were supposed to have.
Yeah, they got good players. They got good players still.
Yeah. But no, the defense. I give him not such of a bad grade because of the fact he's dealt with so many injuries to so many important players.
Yeah,
I mean. And that's the other thing. The Buccaneers game, we can say, the Buccaneers suck. Dude, we still were missing our whole secondary.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so you still have to give him credit. I mean, Josh Johnson and Pierre.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just me.
I'm not worried about the defense so much. It's the offense that is the major, major concern. And the penalties now. The penalties, dude. It's killing this team. It's
another sign. I mean, just.
That's coaching, man. That's coaching. And Tomlin, dude, not challenging that fucking catch. It was almost the last straw for me. I almost took my ball, went home, and walked away from this game.
Yeah.
He is so not in the game, like in certain circumstances. Like we talked about timeouts, we've talked about challenging plays. He's too busy micromanaging everything during the game. He's not being the CEO in charge of the game. They're making fun of him on the broadcast now because he's missing these things.
Dude, the team's a joke. They're all making fun still. They make fun all the time now during the game because they're a joke.
It's bad.
It's like I said, I've told you, Tomlin, the way he's going about things, it's just weird to me, dude. It's just strange. Like I've said,
the more these things happen, I'm starting to wonder, man.
That's what I'm saying. Did I not say this last week? I said, look, I'm not trying to be crazy here, but like he's acting like Cowher acted in his last year. Just let everything go the way it goes. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't want to say that that's what's happening, but it's just weird.
I wonder if for the first time in his career, he's overwhelmed. Like he does not see a way out of this. And I wonder if that's really getting him, because
maybe
2-6 with the way this offense is playing, there's no way out of this. You can't coach this out. Not that he's been, doing this bang up job of coaching anyway, but you can't, especially if you're not going to make changes.
Yeah,
you definitely can't coach away on this. But this offense is not going to get fixed till next year. It's going to take an off season,
bro. It's going to take free agency in the draft. There ain't no doubt.
Yeah, and a new coach and a new offensive coordinator, a new coach. That's what's going to fix this. Right now, you try to just get to respectability on offense, where you're not, 32nd in the league in half the offensive stats. And George Pickens, no catches yesterday.
Oh, I know.
Three targets. Come on, what are we doing? I don't know. I feel like we say the same stuff every podcast. It's always depressing, but this is what the Steelers are giving us to work with. It's just there's nothing positive. Anyway, Jaylen Warren, that's what's positive. Jaylen Warren and Freiermuth.
Yeah.
We've been saying it for 3 weeks. Hopefully when TJ Watt gets back. Pray for TJ Watt to come back. And that was a killer when he couldn't play Sunday. That was
it. Yeah. I mean, dude, if he was 100% ready to go, come on. Like he's your best player in the league. Like you got it. If he was 100% ready to go, you're playing.
Yeah.
But maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't quite ready yet. And they, so hey, 2 weeks. So he's
got to play the next game. He has to play the next game. I would assume.
If he doesn't, he's probably gone for the year because it's 21 days. It's already been a week. So 2 weeks from now, that's going to put them around that 21-day mark. So they better fucking make him available, dude.
The one thing they can do that they could.
What's that?
Dude, the one thing they can do is activate him and then put him back on IR again. Activate him for a couple days, and that starts the clock. But then you lose him for 4 games again. That's the downside of it.
Right.
So if he's not ready, I think that's what they would do with a guy like TJ Watt. It's probably what they should have done with
Calvin Austin.
But we don't know if he's having surgery or not. But at least you get the clock.
I think he's supposed to have surgery. So
that's the Dakota Dulac he was. So we'll see. But they can always play that game. But then what's the point of that? Now you're talking about 4 more games without him. So you're probably 0-4, and
they'll just end his season and be done with it, dude.
Yeah, start over next year. All right, you said you had a theory for me. What do you got? What do you got cooking there? This is a good time though.
So the offense is so damn bad, right? And we know it's the coordinator, but I'm starting to feel like maybe there's almost like a mini civil war going on in the locker room between players.
They've been chirping a lot.
Okay, and hear me out here. So a rookie quarterback's making comments. We need to study more. We need to do, we need to take this more seriously. Like he's making then Najee Harris makes comment. We need to have more accountability in the locker room. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's some inner offensive civil war things going on where maybe people are like, look, Rook, don't be fucking saying that we're not, this or that. Because the wide receivers are getting pretty pissed at him noticeably on the field when they're open, he's not hitting them. So I'm wondering if there's starting to be some, hey, look, man, don't fucking criticize us, the team, that we're not studying enough, this and that, when you're not even hitting us when we're open. So I'm starting to wonder if there's some, and plus Najee Harris is doing it too, being critical of people. Yet he sucks right now.
Yeah, there's not one player on this offense that can talk.
So I'm wondering if him and Kenny running their mouths is starting to piss off players on the team, and now you're having a little inner squad on the offense there, issues with each other. And on any team, dude, if you have that kind of friction, dude, they're done. Like you won't be able to do anything. let alone let alone have issues with the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm starting to wonder.
House.
I'm starting to wonder if there's some like inner like thing going on where they're not happy with each other either. I mean, you saw Chase Claypool visibly on the sideline throwing his gloves or tape, pissed off. You see freaking Pickens like, what the fuck? I'm wide open. Like, come on. You see Johnson gets angry, although I think he likes Pickett. But I'm starting to wonder. And then I also am wondering about the whole, has he actually went to them? Hey man, let's fucking go. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And that might be pissing him off if he is directly doing that to them. Like, hey, remember, Dotson was accused of not really paying attention to things. Remember that last year?
Yes, I do.
So I'm starting to wonder if there is people that are going in there and they're not doing their part to help this team. But see, I go back to last year also when Ben was getting frustrated with the wide receivers not knowing what to do. He would get frustrated with Claypool. Claypool didn't know which route to run. Johnson didn't know what route to run. He was having issues with them not knowing what they should be doing when he would call audibles and everything else. And I'm starting to wonder if that's what Kenny's seeing as well. And Kenny's going directly to them in the locker room like, look, man, you're fucking up and I'm getting fucking tired of it. And they might be going, well, look, man, I'm wide open and you're not throwing the ball to me.
Yeah, it's you might have a point where this thing could be unraveling.
Yeah, and like when you get this bad, that's what I'm starting to wonder.
Yeah. And you know what, dude? I'm at the point now where we were so high on this wide receiver group. We were so like excited to see it. I'm over it. I say keep Pickens and clean house, start over again. I'm over Deontay Johnson already. He's got no leg to stand on. I'm over Chase Claypool. I'm at the point, let's clean house and start over. I mean,
I haven't liked. I don't like that play where Pickett threw the interception and he just stood there when he could have tried to push that guy. Yeah. He just stood there like, fuck it. Like the overall attitude of this guy and the overall,
I'm down on him, man. I'm down on him.
Like when you see him on the field, like there's things he does and you're just like, what is that, man?
Always calling for a flag. Every play he's yelling at the refs.
Like, mannerisms and everything, and the way he talks to the media and the way I don't know, man. Like, it's just like, dude, you got paid. Now you're like,
maybe he's still pissed he didn't get paid like he wanted to get paid. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know.
Listen, dude, get over it, man. It's done. It's history.
He got into it with Trubisky in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know.
You know, this stuff happened. I should say it happens a lot on Mike Tomlin coach teams. These players start chirping, they start complaining, and we just thought, well, back with the Killer Bees, that was just a bad group. You know, it was a bad group with a bunch of big egos. Ben,
this is generational, bro.
Yeah, it's starting to happen again. And the Young Money crew.
It started with the Young Money crew, and it's carried on. These guys.
You're right. This is an ongoing thing with Tomlin coach teams. We just starts losing the locker room a little bit, especially on offense.
And now I really do think that because it's struggling so bad, people are starting to point fingers, and they are. Like they're actively in front of the media going, we're not being accountable. People need to study the playbook more. They're literally calling. I mean, Najee Harris goes, I can't run if there's no hole there. I mean, you're literally calling out your own line.
We'll get some stuff. They need to stop talking to the media. Tomlin needs to step up and say, no more talking.
But what I'm trying to, but that's what's leading me to believe there is like this little civil war thing going on the offense where they're blaming each other.
Yeah.
Now I
think you're 100% right.
And now they're actively doing it in front of the media.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing here. So I really think people are not liking being called out or being told that they're not doing something when the guy that's telling them this is struggling himself. That I think is what's going on here. Yeah. And I think it's getting.
Is he struggling because these guys are not doing their job, or are they struggling because who knows?
So I don't. So I'm really wondering if that's what's going on in that locker room. And I mean, for Najee to say they need to clean stuff up in the locker room, then maybe that's what he's talking about.
You know how you change this narrative? You fire the coordinator. Give him something else to talk about. Give him something else to talk about.
That was
change the narrative.
Yeah. I totally expected you to say something else. Weird.
And then, if they're still playing like crap, then they got to look at themselves and not the coordinator.
Yeah.
we're just spinning our wheels as long as he's calling plays and he's in charge. We don't know how good Kenny is.
I agree, but it doesn't help that the players are starting to turn on each other.
No, you're right. I mean, this thing
and I think that's what's happening. I think they're starting to turn on each other. That sucks.
The buying comes at the right time, gives them a chance to get away a little bit, relax. Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
Maybe that's what's going on. The players are not coming back till Thursday.
Yeah, but you still that's probably where he's going with that. But
it just hit me. I was like, wait a second. That's right. They usually give them.
Yeah.
I think they give them till
it's
Thursday
mandatory
off. Yeah.
Mandatory 4 day. Yeah, great. But that doesn't affect Mike Sullivan. He could still be in there game planning and putting things together and talking to Tomlin. They don't need the players around to make this move.
I don't know.
At all.
But how does Tomlin go into a press conference tomorrow and not say a fucking word and then fire him on Thursday?
Exactly.
Like, I just
they're going to ask him. They're going to ask him. They always ask him every press conference.
Literally every press conference, every post-game conference, every pre-game conference.
That's why I thought today was the day. If it didn't happen today, now you got to, like you said, his presser tomorrow. What's he going to, dodge questions and fire him on Thursday? Say, no, I'm not making changes. Then make change. I don't know.
I mean, I'll update Twitter just to make sure.
Yeah, right. I just looked down myself. It's funny because something could happen at any second. And these trades come in.
Oh no!
Oh, what now?
Filipponi just posted a thing of a comparison between Najee Harris and Trent Richardson. Oh God!
People have been doing that now. And it's scary.
Yikes!
It's scary.
Oh gosh, dude, this is bad.
Yeah. I mean,
did you see where Deontay Johnson said to me, y'all obviously know what's wrong with offense?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is Tomlin does not have control of this team. These guys are chirping. They shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Deontay Johnson shouldn't be saying stuff like that. I hate to keep coming back to Bill Belichick, but I'm going to do it anyway. These things don't happen in New England. The coordinators don't talk. The players don't talk. It's one voice. And nobody likes his voice, but he's the only voice in the room. You don't like what he's got to say, too bad. And Tomlin's the exact opposite. Everybody free for all. And when you're winning, it's fine. But when you're losing, it's bad news.
It compounds.
Yeah.
It just compounds and compounds, dude.
And those guys on offense are all young guys too. So they don't know how to handle adversity. They haven't been through this before. So that's
and they should be showing and teaching them how to do it, how to go about it. Like, come on, man. You can't just let them keep popping off the mouth like that. I don't know. Like you said, some of these other coaches don't put up that shit. I'd be telling them, hey, shut the fuck up. Quit.
Yeah, nobody
run your fucking mouth.
No talking. No talking to media. If they ask you a question, give them the same bullshit answer. I don't know. We're working, we're grinding, we're trying to get better. That's all they should be saying.
Yep. I agree.
Everyone's chirping it. All right, trade deadline tomorrow. At this point, I don't expect anything to happen, dude. I really don't. I think they're going to sit on their hands. It's just like a beaten dog here. I think just.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's got a price, man. The only two I'm not letting go of are Minka and TJ. I think that's your core.
Yeah.
To a championship defense one day. So I'm not letting them go, obviously.
Yeah.
But everybody else, dude, you make me an offer that's good. If it's players like we talked about, Chase Claypool, and you offer me that second or third round pick, bye.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. Cam Hayward. Look, Cam Hayward, great Stiller. Thank you for everything. Would love to see him win a ring with another team if that's the case. If they offer you something, my man's how old? He's like 33, 34?
He's so on the wrong side of 30 for
and he's somehow still playing at the level he has. His trade value cannot be any higher.
No, it's not going to get any higher than
sooner or later it's going to fall off a cliff. So if somebody comes to you with a really good offer for him, you better take it.
He's 33. He's going to be 34 by the season, start of next season.
Dude, look, at any moment he's going to drop off. And I love Cam Hayward. I really do.
You can't not love Cam Hayward. He's a great player.
But I'm sorry, but if somebody comes in and offers me a dumb freaking like something stupid for you, bro, I'm fucking taking it. I'm sorry, I'm taking it.
But we get back to the Tomlin ego. He thinks they can come back and win this
He
season.
does.
They're not going to
He
trade
does.
any of these guys. They're not going to trade any of these guys.
I know. But
Like you said,
I tell you what, though, it's fun to think, though.
Yeah, it is fun to think and talk about. Chicago is tearing it down. They're bad. They know they're bad. Tearing it down and starting over. The Steelers will never do that. Never.
And I mean, somebody could probably make an offer for Miles Jack. Somebody's gonna make an offer for Miles Jack. I could see somebody trying to make an offer for like Minkah.
Forget it. You're not getting Minkah. You're not getting Pickens either.
No.
I'm taking Pickens off the table.
But I'm saying I'm not counting rookies because that to me it's unheard of to hear a rookie get traded. Like you don't really hear that. But I'm just saying like somebody might try to take a swing at one of those like Minkah, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. You want to give me a second for Deontay Johnson? See you later.
Right now on the offensive side, it could be anywhere from Claypool to Johnson, Najee. You could say, hey, how about somebody wants to go after Daniels? Somebody wants to trade for him. Okafor has actually had a good season for the most part, right?
And he's got a very reasonable contract.
Somebody might want to jump in for Okafor. I don't know. Cam, Ogunjobi. I mean, any of these guys.
Yeah, I brought up Ogunjobi in the past. I think they could get something for him.
You brought him up, I think it was last podcast, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, any of these guys, somebody might contact them about. And if they offer you something pretty good to pass up, for me personally, if you can get a 1 through 3rd rounder, right? 1 through 3 and 3rd round picks to stack, dude, that's hard to pass up. Like
it is for a team like this,
right? And you can go in next year, and I mean, just stack fucking good players. You're in theory. Hopefully, Con lets Waddle take the wheel, and
hopefully.
Look, start stacking this team with some good players that you need, and replace some of these players that were shit. And
they need a home run draft in 23. They need a home run draft.
People make good points. Waddle helped build that Eagles team.
Yes, he did.
So
he's been on Howie Roseman for a couple of years, and that guy, you know how I feel about Howie Roseman. I think he's the best general manager in football. Hopefully, some of that rubbed off on Waddle.
Yeah. So they definitely need to let him have huge involvement in this, because what they're doing right now.
Did you see that Javon Hargrave tweeted his sack?
It is liked by
including Chooks.
Thank you. Why do you think I'm saying what I'm saying about this mini little civil war going on?
This fucking team, dude.
I forgot to bring that up, but do you see my reasoning now? Why I think this?
Yeah, this is a dysfunctional group. It's a dysfunctional group.
I'm seeing this and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why would you like your QB getting tackled? Like what?
I get you're all boys in the offseason and Javon Hargrave played here, but he didn't even. Was Deontay Johnson here when Hargrave? Maybe his rookie season. He's been gone for a couple of years.
I don't think.
He's another one of those guys that liked it. It's like
actually his rookie year, he might have been here.
Yeah.
Would that be 2019?
Yeah, I guess.
No, was it 2019? I can't remember.
But man, you can't be doing that stuff. I mean, he shows a picture of your quarterback on the ground, and you're liking it. People see. Are they that stupid? They don't think people see these things.
Hey, man, that Rook's in that locker room running his mouth. I'm telling you. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot, because that was actually one of my reasons for thinking that, and I forgot about it. I'm thinking there's something cooking there between the players. I really do think that.
Tomlin's got himself a mess. He's got himself a straight mess.
He's allowed it. He's allowed all.
I know it, dude. And no one's allowed to question Mike Tomlin. He's no losing seasons. You can't fire him. There's no losing. Dude, is it no losing seasons because of him? Or is it no losing seasons because of Ben Roethlisberger? Ben Roethlisberger was here longer, and he didn't have any losing seasons with Tomlin or without Tomlin. Oh, man. I'm so frustrated with this team. I'm starting to question everybody. Owners, coaches, everybody. We're in it. This is as bad. I haven't watched the Steelers forever. But since Tomlin, Colbert took over, this is as bad as it's been. And it's not even close. This is a hole we've never seen. You brought up they were 2-6 before, but that team was much better. It was a veteran team. The defense was good.
Well, it was Bell's rookie season. He got hurt. Remember, he was out.
Yep, that's right.
So
you still had guys around like, James Harrison in his prime and Troy Polamalu, and was Polamalu still there in 13? Maybe not. Yeah, he was still there in 13.
Yeah, he was still there.
So they had veteran defensive guys. They had a veteran team. You still had AB. You still had, this team ain't that. This is a mess. This is a straight mess.
No, there's so many misses. The missed guys they brought in that you're right. This isn't 2013. You're right.
It all stems from the mistake they did about, I want to say 3 seasons. After AB's last year when he went a little nuts and didn't play it towards the end, I said it back then, you're not going to win another Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger. Le'Veon Bell left. Antonio Brown left. What are you left with? And they're like, we could still win. And they made a lot of mistakes that just one compounded up after another because they thought they could still win a Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger. And it was like, he's past his prime. You've lost all your key weapons that helped him. You can't replace them. They thought Deontay and James Conner were going to replace those guys. No, those were once in a lifetime dudes. You should have started rebuilding then. They've just kept compounding these bad decisions one after the other, and now they're here with it.
Here's my problem. I thought all these short throws were because of Ben.
I said it last. Remember, I apologize. Last podcast.
I don't think it was Ben. I think this ball was Canada, and Jesus, we chased this dude out of town. He had 8 game-winning fucking drives last year.
I mean, makes you really look at the way
we really screwed up.
And the way I looked at things. You brought up Ben Roethlisberger complaining about the receivers. And I was always just like, he's just old and he's trying to blame somebody else. But maybe it was the receivers were that bad and they weren't paying attention.
Yeah. Dude,
oh my God.
I'm starting to wonder, because good Lord, all this time we thought, what? They're doing this because of Ben's arm. He's fucking shot. His arm's shot. And it was just but then when he would go rogue, start slinging the ball, you're like, the fuck? So what? What is it? Maybe he just said, fuck it, I'm going to sling it anyways. If my arm falls off, it falls off, or what? You just didn't know. But
yeah, man.
I don't know now, man. I really don't. But no, dude, I'm so glad you brought up the whole liking that Hargrave thing, because that just lays more credence to what I'm trying to say. It's going on in that locker room.
It's starting to remind me of, it must have been 2018. At the end of the season, they had that press conference, and Art Rooney said, they were asking him questions. He's like, I'm not running the circus. This team is fine. We'll be all right. And I remember writing a piece back then. This is a circus. You're just blind to it. That's when AB was throwing shit out the window of that condo he was in.
He threw a couch off the balcony, almost killed a kid.
And LB was doing his stupid shit. Yeah. And I listed, there must have been 14 incidents that season.
Yep.
And it's that analogy you have where everything's on fire and they're sitting there, everything's okay. It's starting to feel like that all over again. It's like this thing's spiraling. And it's Art Rooney and it's Mike Tomlin. Yep. Those are the only 2 constants from then to now.
Yep.
I don't know. All right, before we get out of here, I did a little homework on offensive coordinator possible replacements if it ever happens. I was hoping there would be a fired. So here's a couple of names I got. Do you remember Joe Brady? He was the OC for LSU when Joe Burrow won the championship.
Yeah.
He became the offensive coordinator of the Panthers.
Did he become head coach eventually?
No, he got fired. They fired him. He's the quarterback / passing coordinator for the Bills now.
Oh,
that might be a guy you look for. Bills are obviously the Bills are the Bills. That offense is cranking. He's not the OC, but he's a part of that offense.
Okay,
might be somebody to look at.
Okay,
Deuce Staley. He's an interesting guy.
Deuce Staley, the old running back for the Steelers and Eagles.
Yep.
No shit.
This guy's got to be the leader in the clubhouse. I'm telling you, he's assistant head coach / run game coordinator for the Detroit Lions right now.
Wow.
That offense is I think 3rd or 4th in the league. As bad as that team is, that offense is putting up numbers. They're humming.
Huh.
The head coach is going to be fired. Probably the whole staff's going to go.
Right.
He's got Steelers connections. I like him. I don't know what kind of coordinator you make, but he's a guy to keep keep an eye on. I try to look for somebody on the Eagles teams. I was so impressed with their offense. Kevin Patullo is the passing game coordinator for that team. Doesn't have a hell of a lot of experience. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He was Titans wide receivers coach, Jets quarterbacks coach, offensive analyst for Texas A&M, Colts wide receivers coach, Colts pass game coordinator, and now he's the Eagles pass game coordinator. That Eagles offense is something to watch, man. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of levels of things.
Like we talked about before, get me somebody from the Rams, Chiefs, Bills, and now add the Eagles to it.
Yes.
Because, yes, I agree. So, yeah, no, I'm down, man. Now, you mean for next year, correct?
For next year. This won't happen this year. They're not doing any moves this year. One more guy. Darrell Bevell. He's the Miami Dolphins quarterback coach right now. He's been offensive coordinator a couple times. He's been interim head coach. I'm sorry. He was Jaguars interim head coach when they fired Dingbat last year.
Urban Meyer.
Yep. He was, where else was he? He was the Vikings offensive coordinator from 2006 to 2010. And he was the Lions offensive coordinator 19 and 20. A lot of experienced guy. Now he's working with my buddy and the Dolphins, who I love, Mike McDaniel. So if half that stuff rubs off on him, that's an experienced guy too. Those are just a couple of names to keep an eye on when the Steelers ever make a move and don't hire Mike Sullivan, the next offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
We'll see. But it ain't happening this year, and it's not
a bad list.
I can really see Deuce Staley. Really? Steelers guy, Tomlin guy.
I don't want a Tomlin guy. Don't say that.
That's my hesitation. And he's not too experienced. He's only been he was an assistant head coach for somebody else too. Let me pull it up real quick. He's got a real short where is it? He was the Philadelphia Eagles assistant head coach, running backs coach, 18 to 20. And now he's the Lions assistant head coach and running backs coach. So he's got a little Eagles in him too. I'll take anything at this point, man. I'll throw a headset on you and send you over there pretty soon.
Hey, I give it a shot.
Any worse, man. I can call plays to George Pickens.
We'd have more go routes, I can tell you that.
Oh, man. All right, that's all I got. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, that's it.
Follow me on Twitter at SteelersThanks16. I'm the most miserable bastard on Twitter right now, I can tell you that. I'm not going to get your hopes up, that's for sure. Follow our YouTube channel, Steelers Sanctuary. Email the show at daber@steelerssanctuary.com. Dave, give me your Twitter handle.
I am the second most miserable bastard on Twitter, and you can find me at M_Corb.
All right, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you next time.